Autonut here. Today's video is a little off the normal automotive thing. I just wanted to share with you my latest stupid purchase. I got the iPhone 10 256 gig silver. Wanted to share an unboxing real quick. So just came in today and the normal plastics on here. I don't remember ever seeing the tab down here for the outside plastic. So it has an arrow going down. So, which actually means that way, and there you go. It's quite interesting. I've never seen that one. Usually I thought we had to cut it. I had my knife all ready to go and thought I was going to cut right through there and get into this. Besides that, it's a pretty typical box. I don't see anything too different. Yeah, that's about it. So, here we go. Typical stuff, designed by Apple in California. Hello. Little quick tutorial on the new things that are the new changes, I guess. And a couple Apple stickers. Here we go, and there is a tab for pulling up. Very nice. A little speechless, actually. I expected it to be heavy. I expected a lot more. It just feels a little heavier than my 6S. But man, does it feel nice. Typical plastic on there. And we have the charging port, of course. Wonder if this is a higher wattage or not. It doesn't. Oh, here we are. Input, output. 5 volt 1 amp, so 5 times 1 is 5, so it's only a 5 watter. And here we have the AirPods. Has the lightning adapter still for if you have some other headphones that aren't wireless and obviously don't have a lightning adapter, which is good. I do have a good set of Bowers & Wilkins headphones I use once in a great while, so I will be carrying that with me. And then that's it. So we're powering on for the first time, and see how long it takes to boot up. Hello. So I'm thinking about before I start installing and doing all that stuff and backing it up, technically I guess restoring it, I'm gonna put on my case. I ended up getting the, I don't know how it's pronounced, Spigen. They're ultra hybrid. They didn't have too many choices for iPhone 10 cases because a lot of them were not available until, like next week or so. So this was one of the ones that were, and my wife actually uses this one, the all clear one, and she always likes it, so I figured it'd be a good starter case just to get something on here. And it's on there perfect. Wow. So it's clear on the back, so I can still see the silver with a little bit of black outline. I think that's pretty fun. The big thing I was concerned about is the home screen. Like, am I going to be able to do that, because it does have a lip here, and if you look at the Apple's cases, they don't have a lip here. It's open. So again, that'll be later in the video, I guess. So far the size I'm very happy with. It's little heavy, not nearly as heavy as an 8 Plus. My wife has an 8 Plus, so I've been able to do side-by-side comparisons. Dimensionally, it's good. It feels comfortable, so I'm very happy with that. Face ID, now I can't tell you enough about Face ID. I love it. I absolutely love it. It works fantastic for me so far. I really haven't been able to stress test it or do anything like that, but it just seems very intuitive. I have it so that you have to look at it, but I never stare like right in the screen. I just go like this. This is even me wearing a stupid GoPro thing on my head, and it doesn't even slightly slow it down. So if the thing's in my pocket I pick it up and I don't even think about looking at something or, you know, being sure it sees my face. I just pick up the phone and I swipe up, and they work the same. The main thing I wanted to talk about was the screen, obviously. The good is the blacks are fantastic. If you compare them next to my 6S or my my wife's 8 Plus, the color is just a little bit more pronounced. Like in this bottom area down here, you can see like there's the green and the browns. It's not going to come up great on video, but this is a neat picture because it's black and there's a lot of details in this black. That's where it really shines. I have the same picture on my other phone. Again, I'm sure it's not going to do it justice, but the details in the black, you can see every little detail in there. That's the most substantial difference. When it comes to the reds, are a little brighter, the greens are a little better. I play with the contrast, like the different color and stuff and the brightness, and it really didn't matter. When I bring this one up and really crank the brightness, it makes everything brighter, but it doesn't make the colors pronounced as much. But that's not nearly as much of a difference as it is in the blacks. The blacks are real fun. If you go and you pull a video or a picture of something that's just black details, you really get to see the difference. So that's the good things about the screen. Now the bad thing is the blue shading. That is slightly annoying. I'm trying to think of something I could show, but if you have something that has a white screen like this, or this is going to be perfect. So you have a white screen or something like this with the black lettering. If you tilt it like this, or if you're moving around like this when you're typing, or slide it, it just has this blue hint that shows up every once in a while. You can really see it when it's black on white. Actually slightly annoying. Not that bad, but it's sort of like, will it affect anything? No. I mean, it wouldn't make me say that another, like the iPhone 8, is any better, by no means. And then the size. The only negative thing I can say about the size of the screen, the edge to edge is great. The notch on the top, I don't know why people are making a big deal out of it. It makes zero difference. I mean, you have barely enough room for a couple icons up there. That would have been nice if that was a little smaller of a notch and you could fit more of your icons up there, because I can't even do the percentage for the battery because there's so little room up there. But the edge to edge just is very natural feeling. It doesn't feel weird. The home button's been fantastic. I never felt like I was trying to press here or do anything. And even with the case, like I was saying earlier, that has a pretty big lip to save the screen, doesn't matter. It seems to work fine. The gestures coming down, they're saying you have to do it diagonally. That's not true. I mean, you just literally swipe from the corners. That's the one I use the most. This one's a little strange because you got to use your left hand, for notifications, but I rarely use notifications because of how overwhelming my notifications get, because I use my phone for work. So that's all different. Let's see, what else is different about this? The sound quality, play music, just has a little bit more volume, and it has a little bit more depth than both the phones. My wife's phone, I think, is a little louder, the 8 Plus. That has a little bit more loudness, but it's a little more tinny. I like to call tinny, where you just hear like the highs and mids, and then once it gets into lows, you can't hear anything. This has decent lows. Still, it's speakers on a phone. I mean, it's not that great. Haven't been able to do too much video. I didn't spend any time on that yet because that's pretty much the same as the 8 Plus. Only difference is the aperture is slightly different on the telephoto lens, and that there's a stabilizer on both lenses, not just the whole unit as one, which I'm not too sure why that would be beneficial, but obviously everybody else thinks so. Lock button's great. It's bigger now and it's a little bit easier to hit, but there's no real difference with that except you use Siri obviously with it. So this is weird here. The little lock button on the side that I use it for shutting off my ringer and putting on mute. It's much smaller. Not dimensionally it's about the same, but I doubt you're going to see this, but on an angle it doesn't stick out nearly as much. Like this one, I don't need a thumbnail. Like my finger can literally flip it over, but with this one I have to actually use my finger now, and I have to actually get in there. I mean, my case is part of the problem, but that's a lot closer profile. I mean, that's a big difference. I was quite shocked about that. The other thing they talk about is like for 3D touch, you know, you feel that haptic feedback or whatever they call it. It's definitely more pronounced. Not as much on 3D touch, but if you have an app that you have to, like we have a little baby app that we use, and if you go in here and there's any type of dial like that is amazing. It like vibrates your hand. It's so intense. That's a lot stronger than it's ever been. Besides that, yeah, it's been a good thing. I can't really complain too much about it. I noticed yesterday, well, last night when I was playing with it and charging it and play with it pretty much all night, it got warm, which I think that's a little bit more than my 6S would ever do. Like if I sat there and used my 6S for a movie and longer, you know, really exercising it, it would feel a little warm. It wasn't hot by no means, but yeah, you could feel it. The case obviously dampens a lot of that, but so one feature I forgot to mention is on the home screen here. You get the flashlight and the camera. Absolutely love that, because even having to swipe up and go into your control center was just a little extra, especially for the flashlight. I use that all the time, as dumb as it is. This one, you can just literally give it the 3D touch. You know, if you could just press it, it doesn't work, but just press it with a little pressure and it turns on. Screen can be locked or unlocked, doesn't matter. I think that's a fun little feature. I'm happy they limited it just to these two things. I don't really need anything else quick. You know, for camera, of course, that's fantastic. You know, I can't wait to do some 4K 60 frames per second video. I mean, it looks fantastic just through the monitor here. That should be quite interesting. But again, all the phones have that, so I just want to make this video specific to the iPhone 10. So again, I just want to do a very quick review, not really a review, but first impressions, and hope you guys liked it. Thanks. Well, that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video.